Hey there, welcome back to Wireless Solutions. Today, we are diving into something every aspiring app developer dreams of: installing Android Studio on your Windows 11. Whether you are creating the next big app or just want to flex on your friends with a fancy IDE, this tutorial has got you covered. Before we get started, let us clear the air. If you have never worked with Android Studio, don't worry, it is not as intimidating as it sounds. In this tutorial, we will go over everything you need to set up Android Studio: installing Java, must-have for Android development, configuring environment variables, downloading and installing Android Studio, setting up Android Studio, starting your first project. So grab your coffee, stretch your typing fingers, and let us get started. Step 1. Installing Java, because Android Studio won't work without it. Before Android Studio lets you in on its coding magic, it has one little condition: Java must be installed. Without Java, your dreams of app development will remain stuck in limbo. So first, fire up your browser. Any browser will do, but let's agree that Internet Explorer should only be used in emergencies. 2. Search for Java to download, or go directly to Oracle's official Java SE page. Don't worry, we are not going to any sketchy websites here. On the download page, look for the Java, click on the link, then select the version for Windows x64 installer. Hit the download button. File size is manageable, so you won't need to pause your Netflix show. Once the download is done, the fun begins. Open the installer file you just downloaded. Click Next when the setup wizard appears. Pro tip: don't overthink this part. Default options are your best friend. Let Java install itself. While it is working its magic, take a moment to admire how far you have come in life. Step 2. Configuring environment variables. Alright, here's where things get technical. But don't panic. Think of this step like setting up a GPS for Java so Android Studio knows where to find it. 1. Open File Explorer. First, open File Explorer and navigate to C, Program Files, Java. Look for the folder named JDK-22. Open it and locate the bin folder. Copy the path to the bin folder. Example: Program Files, Java, JDK-22, bin. Now, head over to your Windows search bar and type Environment Variables. Select Edit the System Environment Variables from the results. In the System Properties window, click the Environment Variables button. Under the System Variables section, look for a variable named path. Click Edit. Click New, paste the path you copied earlier, and hit OK a few times to save everything. Now, time for a little test to make sure Java is installed and ready to go. Open the command prompt. Search for CMD in the Windows search bar. Type the following command and hit Enter: Java --version. If the command returns something like Java version 22, congratulations, you have successfully installed Java and are officially a step closer to app making glory. Step number 3. Downloading and installing Android Studio. With Java setup, it is time to bring in the star of the show: Android Studio. Think of it as the ultimate playground for app developers. First, open your browser. We are assuming you are not still on Internet Explorer. Search for Android Studio download. Go directly to developer.android.com. This is Android Studio's official website. Know it is legit. Click the big shiny download button. It is hard to miss. It is like the red carpet entrance to your coding career. Accept the terms and conditions. We all skim this. Don't feel guilty. Sit back while the 1.1 gigabyte installer downloads. Now is a great time to check your memes or refill your coffee. Once the installer finishes downloading, it is go time. Open the installer file. When the setup wizard launches, click Next. Select both Android Studio and Android Virtual Device or AVD when prompted. The AVD lets you test your apps on a virtual phone, which is super handy unless you prefer using your actual phone for testing. Use an installation location or leave it as default. Click Install and let Android Studio set itself up. It might take a few minutes, so feel free to do a celebratory dance while you wait. Step 4. Setting up Android Studio. Now that Android Studio is installed, let's get it configured so you can start building your first app. The excitement is real. Open Android Studio. If a pop-up asks whether to import settings, select Do Not Import Settings since this is your first time. Android Studio will launch its Setup Wizard, which will guide you through the initial configuration. In the Setup Wizard, choose Standard Setup. This option is beginner-friendly and ensures all the essential components are installed. Next, select a theme for Android Studio. You can choose between light, bright and cheerful, or dark, mysterious coder vibe. Accept the license agreements and click Next. Android Studio will start downloading additional components such as Android SDK, emulator, and build tools. This might take some time, so queue up your favorite playlist or grab a snack. Once the downloads are complete, click Finish. Congratulations! Android Studio is officially ready to roll. Step number 5. Starting your first project. You have made it this far. Give yourself a pat on the back. Now, let's take Android Studio for a spin by creating your very first app project. On the Android Studio welcome screen, click New Project. You will see a list of templates to choose from. For beginners, select Empty Activity. It is the easiest way to start. Name your project something creative, like a first app or Not TikTok. Choose a save location for your project files. Select Java as the programming language. It is more beginner-friendly, though Kotlin is also an option. Pick the minimum SDK level. This determines which Android devices can run your app. A lower SDK supports more devices, while a higher SDK gives you access to newer features. Click Finish to create your project. Once your project is loaded, take a moment to explore Android Studio's interface. The project view shows all your apps files and folders. The code editor is where you will write your app's code. The emulator lets you preview your app without needing a physical device. Feel free to click around and get familiar with the environment. Don't worry, you can't break anything, probably. That's it everyone, you have officially entered the Android Studio Club. Installing Android Studio on Windows 11 doesn't have to be stressful or complicated. Remember, with great coding power comes great debugging responsibility. If you found this guide helpful, smash that thumbs up, share it with your fellow techies, and subscribe for more life-saving tech tips. See you in the next video on Parlous Solutions. Bye for now.